The rent factory. Now, stay with me. $300,000 in equity created, $32,000 per annum in positive cash flow. This is the difference between investing with the real deal strategy and going and buy a house for $1.4 million and calling that an investment strategy. 6 units, 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, 6 car spaces. 1,012 square metre block of land, major regional hub in Queensland, over 50,000 person population. Here's the deal. We purchased all 6 units for $1.4 million and we had it revalued at $1.7 million. But that's not the kicker, and this isn't why we invest just for $300,000 in equity, because unless you can actually access your equity by the means of serviceability, it's useless. I have too many people ring up and say, I've got $1 million in equity in my home, but my servicing capacity is tapped out and I can't do anything. We call that equity trapped. Oxygen for your investment portfolio is cash flow in 2026. Always has been for us at Real Deal Property, but now that the government's made all the changes to negative gearing, it only makes sense that you invest in positive cash flow assets as there's no tax benefit. So, how do we achieve it? Rental income on this site, $129,792. 6 units at $416 a week, obviously multiplied by 52 weeks of the year. The annual expenses are $97,060, inclusive of interest repayments on a 70% loan to value ratio. And if you don't know what that is, I'll explain it in another video. Positive cash flow after holding costs, $32,732. That is in my client's pocket year one. And the reason I say year one is because we have been experiencing rental increases of around 7% compounding every single year. So if this site generates $32,000 year one, next year add 7%. If inflation's hovering at 4% and your increase in costs appreciate by 4%, you pocket the difference. I have properties that I've owned for 10 years that now achieve over a 20% rental yield and pay me a fantastic positive cash flow return every single year. Why would I ever sell those properties? If you go and buy a property like this in 2026, we're not worried about the negative gearing changes. Didn't affect our clients, didn't affect us. It pays us to own it. If a property pays me to own it, why would I sell it? If I never sell it, I undeniably see capital appreciation in a property, simply because all assets, with the exception of Melbourne over the last 5 years, have appreciated in capital value. It is undeniable that property is not going to continue to increase. It won't increase at the same rate it did over the last 5 years, but it will increase because of simple fact that we are not making any more land and people need a place to live. Rents continue to increase every year, and I am of a huge opinion that they are going to surge very soon because of all these changes that the government has made. So the moral of the story is, guys, if you are looking to create a true passive income with real numbers and real assessment and calculations off the current legislation, current interest rate climate, and the current legislation around tax reforms in Australia, this is how you invest. This is how I have invested with my business partner over the last decade, and how we have accumulated over 140 doors that generate in excess of $2 million per annum in cash flow. This isn't selling you speculation. This isn't selling you some crapped up dream that property prices are going to continue to appreciate at 7-8% per annum for infinity. That is all garbage. What you need to do is look at what's tangible and accessible today and look at numbers that are real, not hypotheticals. We purchased it for 1.4, we have comps at 1.7. When we purchased it, it was renting for $380 a week. We have comparable rentals at $415 a week, $416 a door, thereabouts was the average on this site. That means if we look at our holding costs from our debt and income, what are we left with? A positive number. Numbers don't lie. At Real Deal Property, these are the types of assets we find our clients. If you want to learn more, click the link in bio. Otherwise, pick up the phone, book a call in with the team, and let's run you through a real deal.